What's up, guys? Boy, I'm your FoxCast here. Welcome to an all-new episode of FoxCast Creepypasta, where today we will be reading the story I Got an Emergency Disaster Warning at School. Now, this is a pretty interesting creepypasta. I have not seen a lot of it on YouTube, so I have no idea what I'm getting into. So this is gonna be like an all-new journey for me, I guess. Yeah, and it's also supposed to be like a prequel to another series. Now, about time. I'm gonna have to split this up into additional parts because, as you know, I only have 15 minutes to record and actually do stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna need to split up quite a bit. So, without further ado, let's get right into this, shall we? Let's go! I Got an Emergency Disaster Warning at School, Part 1, by HHeyPeter. People always tell me I shouldn't be excited about heading to summer school, but any reason for me to get out of the house was one that I took with great enthusiasm. I'm an extrovert by nature, and being home alone just makes me feel claustrophobic. Plus, trigonometry had plummeted my average math class straight into the damn dirt. So some extra lessons in the hot summer month of July was my golden ticket to achieving an average that didn't make my parents want to get mad at me over. It was an optimistic venture back to school. I was only a couple weeks of classes, meaning that I could get my mark up and still enjoy August summer warmth, with enough time for me to properly recharge my batteries for another 10 months of school. But my joy spoiled and turned to disappointment when I woke up to the sound of a raging thunderstorm outside. I hated shitty weather like this. Why did it need to literally rain on my parade? I admit, the weather plays a more significant role in affecting my mood, so I went through the morning routinely with a persistent glum feeling. It's hard to say when your weather plays with my mood so aggressively. I'm prone to mood swings much more than the average guy, but none of the psychiatrists I've ever spoken to have ever experienced something to what I described. While no one was ever really able to figure this out, I still try my best to ignore it and set a positive example for everyone around me. And I won't let the weather ruin that. It was a lonely drive to school. The country back roads I took were slick with rainwater, and coated in thick, turbulent mist that covered the moist farmlands that faced each side of the narrow road I drove on. My windshield wipers creaked and groaned as they slid across the glass, spraying the murky rain droplets so thinly that I could just barely see the road ahead. The radio has long since ceased functioning in my beat-up Honda Civic, so the sound of rain was my only audible stimulant, which paired well with the sound of my tires against the slippery road. The waterproof jacket I wore protected my torso from the rain well enough, but my legs and shoes were all slick with the rainwater. I neglected to put my hood when I ran into the car, so my hair was also soaked. I spent so much time washing, curling, and drying my hair only for the rain to dampen it. Go figure. I took to taking rhythmic inhales and exhales to try and stabilize my mood. I wasn't loving the idea of being mopey and uncooperative during class. I came here to improve my marks, not waste the instructor's time with my attitude. After a few hearty exhales, I dubbed the rainstorm as an insignificant negative smear on my otherwise good day, and there was plenty of time in the day for me to be happy. I used my backpack to shield my head from the rain as I leaped out of the car and raced to my front door from the parking lot, taking a look at how empty it is. I didn't expect many cars to be here during summertime, but it was all but abandoned, save a handful of cars parked in the small square reserved for the teachers. Entering the building, the warm, pungent smell of mud and sweat hit me in the face like a punch, causing me to scrunch my nose and retreat. Did someone leave their muddy boots on a radiator in here? It sure smelled like it. Covered my nose with my hand and walked towards the main office, the heat of the school making my coat sweaty and uncomfortable. I marveled at the vast emptiness of the school around me. Not a single soul in sight. Not a student, a teacher, or even a janitor. It was entirely vacant. Obviously, it didn't come with the expectation that the school would be packed. I was expecting someone. Swiftly removing my coat, I folded it under my arm and glanced around both sides of the hallway. Beside the main office, both were empty. Where the hell is everyone? I muttered to myself, pulling out my phone from my pants pocket to reassure myself that I did come here on the correct date. July 4th, 7:20 a.m. I was here on time. Early even. Why are none of the staff here? Was I too early? The sound of the groaning from a creaking door slapped me out of my confusion. Hey, hello there. Are you from a summer education course? A woman's voice came with a thick New Zealand accent. I turned around and saw the receptionist, Miss Milani, open the door and went outside of relief. Yes, I am. Could you please point me to where Mr. Solomon's trigonometry class is? I asked her. Could I ask your name? I'd like a head start on doing school-wide attendance, she replied, pulling out a pen and notepad as she pulled out of her back pocket. Jamie Spears, I answered, feeling a small sense of pride that I was the only one to show up. She scribbled my name down on the pad and told me that Mrs. Solomon's class was located in room 209, which was just a walk down the hall towards the west back exit. I thanked her and waved her goodbye, and made my way down the hall, ready to show up and impress my teacher with an excellent first impression. Maybe I came a little too early, but I'm not complaining. I found the classroom and gave a gentle knock, a bright smile on my face. Mr. Salmon opened the door quickly. He was a balding, middle-aged man dressed in a pink button-up and khakis that looked as clean and kempt as if they were brand new. Nice to see you here, Jamie. You're quite early. I always tried to diligently become a teacher's pet, and my efforts were rewarded handsomely with Mr. Salmon's favoritism. Of course I came here early. I couldn't wait for the lesson, I said. I assuredly not excited about geometry, but I don't mind to bend the truth in order to keep the status quo of our teacher's relationship. He opened the door fully and stood back, allowing me to enter the classroom. Definitely had the appearance of a classroom that was not normally used. Thick dust coated the select few desks, the lighting fixtures barely able to muster the energy to light up a room in full, and the sound of ventilation reigned supreme over the distant cracks of thunder. The moth-eaten blinds failed to fully cover their respective dirty windows, which gave me a clear view of the storm outside, still gray and miserable, as when I had left it, my house. The desks were organized in rows of 4, lengthwise and widthwise, with maybe half of them having chairs. The closest row to the back wall, someone I didn't recognize, was in the middle row. A boy with a thick mustache wearing a t-shirt with the logo of the Toronto Reapers on it slouched over his desk, looking in a deep sleep. Class doesn't start until 8 a.m., and I thought I got here early. How long has this guy been here? Niall, are you awake? Questioned Mr. Salmon with a notable firmness in his voice. It suggested that this wasn't the first time he asked this. The tired boy jumped at the question and looked at Mr. Salmon with a look that tried to convince them that he was wide awake, but his bloodshot eyes and unsteady gaze looked so forced that it made me cringe. Yeah, I'm awake. Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night, he mumbled, rubbing his eyes and trying to hold back a yawn. Niall spoke, rife with restlessness. I suppose that's why he's at summer school. Couldn't get good grades if you can't get a good night's sleep. Mr. Salmon looked at him, unconvinced. I better not get you sleeping again, young man, he added. Yes, sir, Niall responded, still not sounding entirely awake. Even if he was preoccupied with his sleeping beauty gig, I had someone to talk to, which made me feel at ease. I walked over to the desk beside him and placed my backpack beside his desk legs, and flopped my coat over the chair. I sat down on the plastic chair and introduced myself to him. So, that was, this is just gonna be like a to be continued, I guess, because, I only really have, 15 minutes, so I need to split up into smaller parts here. So I guess this is just gonna be like a to be continued for now moment. So, thank you guys for watching this part of an episode of FoxCast Creepypasta. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time!